I love the Dallas Cowboys this year, man. Okay,
Oh
all
my
right.
gosh. Here we go.
Listen.
Here we Oh
I
my
think
gosh.
the Cowboys they're gonna win 11 games this year. That's where I've got them at. I think that I love what they did defensively. Bringing in George Pickens, I think is gonna be a big boon to them. All right, what is always a better answer to your offensive line? Bringing in a wide receiver, especially one as volatile and as just game changing as George Pickens is. Okay.
All About the Balls podcast with Mark Davis, Kriska Meinhardt, Luke Rule, Jake Winnikine, Alan Tomasella, and Nick the Doc Skirk. Welcome to another episode of All About the Balls podcast. I'm Mark Davis, joined alongside Jake Winnikine, Luke Rule, and Alan Tomasella. And tonight we're here with another NFL division breakdown, a little NDB, as we talk about the NFC East, the Cowboys, the Giants, the Commanders, and the Philadelphia Eagles, your Super Bowl reigning champions. Yes, Alan, NDB, NFL divisional breakdown, just abbreviation. But
Okay. All right.
Luke, I'll start with you, Luke. Welcome back in here, your first time for this little 8-episode series we got going on. How are you feeling tonight?
Yeah, feeling good. I mean, I had a nice little 3-day work week this week, and today get to start my 5-day bender. Got Wade's flying in tomorrow for CMA Fest, so we'll be down in Nashville pretty much all weekend, enjoying all the free shows.
Yeah, some good times out there, thanks to the Mrs. Rule out there. And Jake, How are you doing? As like I said for Luke, same thing for you. First time for this little mini series we got going on.
Yeah. Good to be in attendance. I'm ready to talk some sports. Just started. Today's my Monday, so I got a long work week. So.
And Alan, we heard you're doing a little workout inspired by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. One of the GOATs was working out. How are you feeling tonight?
Yeah. Hey, I hit that workout this morning. I was wobbling out of the gym, like wobbling. It was insane. I don't know if you watched it when I sent the video. That shit was insane. I could barely even move, man. It hasn't hit me yet. My legs are still like kind of in shock. I'm going through it, but no, I'm straight. I'm ready for this. The NFC East. I always trust in Dak. So let's have a good discussion.
Yeah, and for everyone that's listening again, we will start with the last place team from last year and work our way up to the first place team. So we'll talk. The last two teams will be the NFC Championship teams. Obviously, one is a Super Bowl winner. But before we do that, if anyone's listening out there and watching, please follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, and then also TikTok, X, and Instagram as we try and get this journey. 2025, third year, guys. Let's try and make this a killer year. But big things, like I said, from the NFC East. And I know we've had that nickname that they are the NFC least. But recently, they've had two NFC championship teams. The Cowboys have been a consistent team that's made the playoffs. But we're going to start with the New York Giants. And you can see on the screen what they did last year. Actually, I think that it might have been wrong. I think they were 5-12. I'm sorry. They were 5-12 last year, not 3-14. But it's a whole new team, new quarterbacks, guys. Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston are there. They drafted Jackson Dart with the 25th pick. They traded back up. Abdul Carter, Javon Holland, new to the defense. Paulson, Adebo, Luke, your boy, Cam Scatabo, and Darius Alexander. And they didn't lose much. But, guys, what do we think about the New York Giants 2025 season?
Listen, all right, I'm just gonna go because I'm gonna be high on these Giants. I actually think that this year the NFC East might be the best division in football. I really like what the Giants did this offseason. I like the additions that they made in the draft. I think that they've solidified the defensive side. I think they're going to be able to get pressure. Offensively, I think Malik Neighbors is phenomenal. We saw what he was able to do with the shittiest quarterbacks in the league almost last year. And I think this year that Russell Wilson isn't going to be starting for very long. And I think it's possible that Jackson Dart starts at the beginning of the season. The word that's coming out of camp, the things that we're hearing from Dayball, that from the coaching staff, they love Jackson Dart. They think that everything that I've heard so far is they think that he's ready right now. And it's possible he could be going.
I do think we're going to see Jackson Dart week 5 against the Saints. And I think kind of like Drake May last year where you just had a late bye week for the Patriots. there's no great time to put him in, and I think that's the best time because that's probably the best chance of getting him comfortable. I mean, the first 4 games are literally at Dallas, at Washington, home against the Chiefs, home against the Chargers. So you start 0-4, you got to make the decision. And I think starting him early is going to maybe save Daboll his job, even if they don't have a good season because they do have a tough schedule. If Dart comes in week 5 and he's playing productive, playing competitive football, I don't think Brian Daboll's fired if they only win 3 or 4 games because he made that change so early. And you see the progression maybe this rookie quarterback's going to go through.
Yeah, that's as long as the GM keeps his job too, because I can see him definitely being on the hot seat. He has made some very poor decisions as the general manager over the past couple seasons, especially letting Saquon walk, which is terrible. But I mean, I like what they've done in the offseason. Yeah, I had my boy Scattaboo. Hopefully, he's gonna be a dynasty monster. That's what my hopes are. I agree with you. I think Russ will be starting week 1. And I think he'll start until the tides have turned when the season's pretty much gone. If they're 0-4 going into the Saints, I think it's time to pull the trigger on Jackson Dart and let Jameis be that emergency quarterback for the entire season.
I like the team.
I'm the opposite of all you guys. I think Mark had it right on the board where it said 3-14. I think he was seeing I think the GM's fired, the coach is fired. I can't agree with you guys that Dart will be playing at some point. I mean, the season will be lost, and it'll be a why not situation, almost like with the Falcons. Like, why not switch quarterbacks at this point?
Well, I mean, ours are a little different. We were doing that to hopefully save playoff hopes. They are going to do it because they have no choice.
You're the only one that still had playoff hopes. We all knew the Falcons were done. But
all we had to do was win 2. All we had to do was win 1 game or 2 games.
He's not playing week 1. I don't think they're going. They don't sign Russ and Jameis for Dart to play week 1. But he is going to play at some point for sure.
I like the team outside. Malik Neighbors is a dog. We all know that. The other receivers I'm not high on. The running game, I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Cam and Tyron Tracy. I think Tyron Tracy was pretty good. The O-line was very bad last year. They were in literally the bottom third of the league for offensive line. And I understand, they added some pieces there, but I'm not sold on this. I think the D-line might be the best defensive line, by the way, in football. I really do. Now, the rushing D-line was terrible. The passing D-line, Kevin Thibodeau came out in the second half. Brian Burns is a beast. They drafted Abdul Carter. We know Penn State pass rushers. They're good at doing that. And they have Sexy Dexy in the middle of the defensive line. So this D-line is going to probably be the best thing about them. And Javon Holland is a dog, too. I think that's in the secondaries. But this offense, I just believe is going to be terrible because I don't trust the quarterbacks. I don't trust Jackson Dart, even if he does come in. I'm not a fan of Jackson Dart.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying they're going to have a good season. I think they'll probably be right on par as last season. They'll be lucky to get their 5 wins and move on. But, I mean, if you throw Jackson Dart in the right time, I think it could potentially save Dayball's job. Kind of gives them
when's the right time though? Because look at that schedule. It's the hardest schedule in football.
They did get screwed when it came to the schedule. I mean, I do like that right now, and it's just,
I do like the Saints as a tune-up game for them.
All the way through week 12, it's tough matchups outside of the Saints. Like everything, it's just insane what they have to go through. I mean, you're talking Commanders, Cowboys, Chiefs, Chargers, Saints, Eagles, Broncos, Eagles, 49ers, Bears, Packers, Lions.
And the Bears are in Chicago. I believe the Bears are in Chicago, which I understand. The Bears thing, the Bears, we can make the assessment with them in a couple of weeks, but it's in Soldier Field. Soldier Field is not a tough place to play, but especially for a rookie quarterback if he's playing.
Listen, we've seen Daboll do more with less before, and I do like the defense. I think that they've added to the defensive line. They're going to get pressure. They added Javon Holland. I think this defense is going to be able to be competitive, and we know that the Giants, if they're able to stay in games with defense, I do think that Jackson Dart is going to be a good quarterback. I think he'll probably end up being the better quarterback out of this draft. I'm
still high on Cam Ward. I think Cam Ward's the best QB of the class.
A lot of people like him, and he says the right things. He does the right things, but we're not talking Cam Ward right now. I do like Jackson Dart. And I like the weapons that they have. The running backs, Tyrone Tracy, it was phenomenal last year. He did really good. He kind of tapered off at the end of the year. But Scatterboo's going to add that thunder to him. And I think they can be competitive. They're going to steal some of these games through week 12, and then once you get to the later part of their season, maybe they're not going to be a playoff team, obviously, but I could see them getting to 6-7 wins. The over under. I know we're going to talk about that. That over under is 5.5. I think they can hit that 5.5.
You and these New York teams, man, you're bullish on the New York squads.
Hey,
both of them,
somebody
like both New York. Jake, how do you feel about Cam Scatterbo? I know how Luke and Alan feels. How do you feel about Cam? I mean, you think he's going to add a good dynamic feature to Tracy? Or I've heard some people that I know they're not a fan of him. I like Cam. I think he does add something. Well, how do you feel?
I like him. I was actually excited about him in the draft because a lot of things, even Cam himself thought the Niners were going to take him. Like there was, I guess, a lot of talk where it was around 100 or whatever. He thought he was going to the Niners. So, I mean, I think he's going to be he's a weapon. If he used right, I think he's going to be a serious weapon. But we're talking the Giants here. So are they going to use him right? I don't know. I mean, he's not going to be the lead back. But I think he has a career for sure.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Dude doesn't know football, though. Dude does not know fucking ball. I mean, he doesn't know who Calvin Johnson is.
His interview was horrible.
You saw that video?
Horrible.
I understand not knowing. I understand not knowing Brett Favre, but then when he was like, "Oh yeah, I've heard the name." What do you mean you've heard the name Brett Favre? Like, how do you not know who Brett Favre is? I mean, you just know the name. You don't know actually what he looks like. Calvin Johnson was bad. And then the one where he mentioned the running back. He just mentioned that running back. It was Darren Sproles, and fucking a couple players later, they're like, "You just talked about him." I don't know.
He just plays the game. He doesn't watch it. Okay.
Yeah, he just plays.
He just plays it. You hand him the ball and just let him run.
Or throw to him. Or throw
to him. Or let him throw.
He could do that too. Yeah, he did have a couple throws. Over under, Alan, you mentioned 5.5. I'm hammering the under. I think because of the schedule. I don't think this team is dog shit. It's just unfortunate that they are playing the toughest schedule. And like I said, I don't trust Russ. I don't think Jameis is the guy either. And I just don't think Dart, at least in his rookie season, is going to propel him. Oh, and because they only have Malik Neighbors in the receiving core.
They're projected to be the worst team in the NFL.
Oh, I think the Browns are going to take that, or the Saints. I think it's Browns or Saints.
They're minus 1,800 odds to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think Browns Saints are one of the worst, one of the number one team, whoever it's going to be. But I think under 5.5, easily.
Yeah, just looking at their schedule, I'm having a hard time picking out 6 wins. So I'm definitely I'm on the underside. I think five is their ceiling for this season for the Giants. Unfortunately, because I think they have a better team than last year, but the schedule's tough.
I don't think they win a game in the division. I think they go 0-6. And if they do win one, they're going to steal one against the Commanders because those two, they go back and forth with each other, and that's the game. I don't see them beating Dallas, honestly.
Yeah,
I don't see them beating Philly.
Dak wins a lot of his games in the division, so I don't see that unless Dak gets injured. But I don't see that happening.
That's Dak's problem.
They're not favored in any one of their division games, and they play 6 playoff teams from last year.
I mean, they're not going to be favored in a lot. I don't think they're going to be favored in any games. They might be favored in the Saints game, but I don't think they're going to be favored.
The Saints game is the only one you could maybe circle, and they might win.
They also play the Patriots too, so they might get that one. But I do think that they're going to steal some games. The NFC East is notorious for that, where teams from there are going to be stealing games and against other conference teams.
Yeah, we'll find out. I mean, 2025, it's going to be it's always interesting for the NFC, especially the New York Giants, because the media, something's going to happen. Does Daboll keep his job? Does Joe Sheen keep his job? We will see months away. And I think they let Daboll go the whole season, if it is a bad season, like Jake says. Moving on to the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, a team that's always exciting to talk about just because of the media they get, the exposure they get, and how the downfall usually happens in the playoffs. But this time it won't be with Mike McCarthy. It'll be with new head coach Brian Schottenheimer as they elevated him from offensive coordinator to head coach. He's calling plays finally. Didn't do that with Dak Prescott last year. Some exciting moves, honestly. George Pickens coming in as a trade. I like the draft picks with Tyler Booker and Siobhan Revel and Donovan Azuruka, but they did lose Zach Martin, DeMarcus Lawrence, Rico Dotto, and other guys. So, guys, the Dallas Cowboys, what do we think for 2025?
I love the Dallas Cowboys this year, man. Okay.
Oh
All
my
right.
gosh! Here we go.
Listen.
Oh
I
my
think
gosh!
the Cowboys they're gonna win 11 games this year. That's where I've got them at. I think that I love what they did defensively. Bringing in George Pickens, I think is gonna be a big boon to them. All right, what is always a better answer to your offensive line? Bringing in a wide receiver, especially one as volatile and as just game changing as George Pickens is. Okay.
Oh my
I think that it actually is going to be a positive. They get Jake Ferguson back, Dak healthy. I don't hate Javonte Williams signing. I think that that's going to be solid because the passing game is going to open up the running game. I think that you're going to see a little bit of fallback for the Commanders. And
I have that feeling too. We talk about that. I'm excited to talk about that one.
I also feel like there's going to be a little bit of a fallback for the Eagles. I think the Eagles let go of a lot of their defensive backs. I feel like
D-line too.
That D-line is missing, and I just think that the division is going to be a little bit more competitive. We do know that when Dak is healthy, he dominates this division. Like that's what he's done throughout his entire career. He's dominated the division. And I think we're gonna see that this year. He's got some really easy games when it comes to outside of the division. I know they've got some that they do have a couple of tough matchups. I mean, if we want to call the Chiefs, Mark is also on the record saying he thinks the Chiefs are gonna fall back. So
I say fall back to I'll fall back to 11 or 12 wins, but they're still
you said that the Broncos are going to win a division.
I'm on that. I stand on business. Yeah. I'll say every episode, and Broncos win the AFC West.
So and I think that for that to happen, I think the Chiefs have to win 10 games and for them to lose the division to the Broncos because I just think that what the Cowboys have as far as schedules go, the pieces that they added, a lot of people hate the Schottenheimer hire. I think that it's going to be a positive, and I just think that it's going to be a good year for them.
I'll let y'all go. I'll piggyback off you and Jake and Luke.
Yeah, I'm not nearly as high on the Cowboys as Alan is. I think if Dak is healthy for the whole season, they'll be a better team than they were last year. But that is a big if. I mean. It's been a little bit since he's played a full season. I mean, and when he does, like at the end of the season, they always find a way just to crumble. So it's hard to be high on the Cowboys. So like, yeah, they might start off the season all flashy and do what they do, but other than that, like they kind of fizzle out at the end of the season every year.
I'm not saying that they're going to do anything crazy in the playoffs. I'm not saying they're making the Super Bowl. I'm not saying they're going to make a deep playoff run. We're talking regular season. We're talking about what they're going to do during the regular season. I think that they can win the division.
I don't see them winning the division. Now, I see them competing for a wild card slot, and competing is, kind of pushing it. I think they're around a 8-9 win team this season if Dak's healthy the entire season. I don't trust Schottenheimer's play calling skills because when was the last time he did it? When he was coaching offensive coordinator at some college?
I think Seahawks.
Did he call it at Seahawks?
Yeah, because Pete Carroll wasn't calling offense then.
Yeah, and they had great offense over there, didn't they?
Well, Russ was cooking there. I mean, I'm only on Allen's side a little bit because the Eagles' schedule is brutal. I think that they are going to only probably win 11, 12 games. And I think the Commanders do come back a little bit off 12 wins, and they're still playing for a playoff spot. I'm not saying the Commanders are going to be terrible, but I'm opposite of what I said about Dallas last year. Now, Allen and Doc both called me crazy because I said Cowboys last year under 9 wins. I was correct. I don't care if Dak was healthy. They were only going to win under 9 wins. I didn't think last year they were good. You bring in George Pickens. I love it. I love the Tyler Booker pick. I think the young defense, by the way, sneaky defensive coordinator, not a good head coach, good play caller on defense. Matt Eberflus is a very good defensive play caller. He can get the young bucks coming in and playing good. Now, when do we see Diggs and Overshown? That is a concern because those guys aren't going to probably be ready to start the season. At least Overshown won't be. He's probably going to be ready till mid-season November time. Diggs is questionable when he's going to be back.
Well, Diggs is in trouble. He's been rehabbing not at the facility, and they're trying to fine him $500,000.
Yeah,
they got issues.
I think he's in Miami, right, or something like that. He's somewhere else. But I mean, it's not like he has to be
his brother's probably slinging them pink bags.
He was probably with him, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Dallas this year. Now, the running game and the O-line, I don't give a shit what PFF had the Cowboys as number 9 O-line last year, but another analysis website had them like bottom of the top or the bottom 5. So I don't know what PFF was
more
on.
accurate.
I didn't think the O-line was good last year at all.
So obviously, I do not agree with Alan. No, I think his whiteboard is the farthest thing that could ever be from the truth. You have never been able to count or trust in Dak. Let's be real here. Yes,
I will have you know he won me a fantasy football league. So
I would say regular. I would say
Derek Carr won me a fantasy league too.
Exactly right.
And look at him.
I say regular season. You can count on him, but that's usually it.
And Alan said he's not expecting playoffs, so we're good there. But I don't like the head coach hire. I don't think that's the last thing Dak needed was someone that's not going to be. Dak needs someone to be explosive right away. Like Dak's going to need a fire offense. Whatever Dak we're getting. I mean, if he's going to be healthy, stay healthy. I'm not confident in the Cowboys. I think it's going to explode. And I think in the offseason, we're going to be talking about if that was Dak's last season in Dallas. I think it's going to be ugly.
I mean,
I wouldn't say the offense isn't explosive. I think the passing game is going to be explosive. You bring in George Pickens, and I don't know. I like Pickens as number 2 to CeeDee Lamb.
Pickens is like he's just kind of like all over the place though.
Yeah, but
some weeks he balls out, then another week he'll have nothing.
Yeah, but look who's throwing the fucking ball: Russell Wilson, Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph. Who else? Justin Fields. I understand Dak isn't as great as you think he is, but Dak is literally in a league above all those guys this time frame.
Definitely,
he's in a league. He's different.
Tiers, Dak is in maybe two or three tiers higher than the other quarterbacks. Yeah,
exactly. This is a different tax bracket.
Listen,
one thing that I will say about the Cowboys.
One thing I'll say about the Cowboys right now, and the NFC East has not had a repeat division winner in
20 years.
Okay, years. There we go. I was going to say 7. This man just said 20.
So it's Washington. So it's Washington's year.
I don't see Washington doing that.
Why?
I feel Washington has it.
Commanders weren't supposed to be good last year. They fucking won 12 games. So I mean, what? It can't be done because we all laughed at the Commanders being good last year.
This is gonna explode because Pickett's not gonna get enough touches because you got to feed CeeDee Lamb. You got no O-line, and the running game is not good.
But it didn't matter last year when Turpin had 9 touchdowns. He would lead the team in touchdown passes or touchdown.
They're going to focus on the receivers because you don't have to worry about the run game.
I don't think Turpin's going to beat. I don't think Turpin's
going to make Dak beat you.
I don't think Turpin's going to play much offense.
That running game is going to be open. That running game is going to be open because you have to defend. You have to put 2 guys up top, and that's going to open up the run game underneath. He's going to be calling fucking HB dive every time that they're running 2 people behind.
They weren't stacking the box. They weren't stacking the box much last year against the Cowboys, and the run game was pretty bad.
Yeah, they weren't stacking it at all.
They were focused on Ferguson and CeeDee Lamb is what they're focused on.
Yeah, well, now you have to focus on a deep threat in George Pickens, who's going to win. He's going to win 75% of the time. He's going to win his one-on-one matchup.
I like their. I'm on you. I'm on board with the passing game. I'm with Jake though on the running game. I've said it for weeks now. I don't like the running game, and that's why I think any of these 3 running backs, Williams, Sanders, Blue, you don't know who's going to be the guy because it could be a mixture of all 3, or one could just somehow stand out if they are good. This is
one of them might start, but there ain't going to be the guy because they're all
there. I mean, I don't.
You don't have to. You don't have to have that in the NFL anymore.
I don't know. Well, I mean, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry. I mean, Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, those teams are built on that. But Josh Jacobs, I wouldn't consider that to be.
Josh Jacobs is a top 3. He's been a top 3 for a running back the last
Hey, listen, Josh Jacobs is great, but with the Packers, I mean, I don't think that he was.
I mean, you saw how good the Niners are when McCaffrey's healthy.
Kyron Williams, Bijan.
Although Jordan Mason looked good, and we don't know who he was. But.
Yeah, Jameer Gibbs. Jameer Gibbs stayed.
Great. Isaac Guerrero looked good last year with the Niners too. All right, don't tell me that.
Yeah, for a couple.
They
weeks.
weren't elite. We weren't winning. No one had to worry about them back then.
But we could have had Brock Purdy at quarterback.
On this defensive side, though, I like what the Cowboys are building, though, at least for the future. I like the young defense that they are building. Azuruka was good. Shavon Rebel, I thought, was a steal I mean, he only fell because of his injury. I think the Cowboys, not a big Diggs fan, but when Diggs isn't playing, super aggressive, he actually isn't terrible. It's just the question is he's going to stop playing aggressive all the time. That's his only concern. I don't know. I like what they're building on the defensive side too. And I like Uberflus as the defense coordinator. I'm not a fan of him personally as a head coach, but he can play calls on the defense.
I don't know what people see. Diggs is not good.
I think when he's not playing aggressive and he's not taking the home run chances,
but
he's
that's all he does.
He had that one. He had that one good season where he made most of his risky decisions.
His risky decisions, yeah.
He was still getting burnt. He still got burnt that year too.
Oh, he got burnt a lot. Well, because
that's all he does is get burnt. Every once in a while he guesses right. Yeah, he's terrible.
It's either he's going to pick the ball off or the receiver's taking it for a touchdown.
Or touchdown, yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. The Cowboys, I think, are going to be a playoff team. I really, at this point of the offseason, I like Dallas as a playoff team. I don't know. The schedule is not hard. The over under 7.5, and I'm hammering the over. I think that's the easy over for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go with the over too. But
I do.
You got 3 in that division making the playoffs?
I don't know about the Commanders yet. We'll talk about them next. I think that Jake, I told you the other day on the phone, I think the 49ers, Cowboys, and 2 NFC South teams are making it. I don't know if the Commanders make it this year. I really don't. I'm not high on the Commanders. I'm high on being NFC a winning. South teams? I have the Bucks and the Falcons getting there, and I have the Cowboys and the Niners. The Niners schedule, same thing. Niners schedule.
There's only one NFC South team going to make the playoffs. It'd be a 10-win Bucks team.
I think the Bucks are going to be better than. I think the Bucks are going to be better than 10 wins too.
Probably. Baker's back there cooking.
I just think that the Commanders, which we'll talk about in a minute, I think the Commanders are going to come back a little bit. They're not going to be 12-5.
No, like I was saying, I'm taking the over for the Cowboys, but I have them missing the playoffs. I think they get 8-9 wins and miss the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm going with Cowboys winning the division. I think 11 wins this division.
Oh my god!
I haven't said yet they win the division. I said they can win it.
I think 11 wins this division. That's where I'm going with it. It's not going to be like I think that it's going to be a competitive division. I think that there's easy games for some teams. I think that the Eagles are going to fall back. I think the Commanders are going to fall back. Now, Commanders and Eagles might win 9 and 10 games or something like that. But I think Cowboys win the division.
You over under, Jake?
Under.
Ooh,
under 7. Okay.
Under 7.5, so it could be 7.
They're not even. They're staying 3 right in the division where they're at right now.
So you don't think you think they're the same as they were last year with a healthy Dak, and George Pickens coming in? And
are we sure? When's the last time Dak's been healthy?
2 years ago when they made the playoffs 12-5.
Well, what happened with Dak and the Saints week 1?
2 years ago when they were 12-5.
Well, Saints cooked them.
Okay,
I mean,
then the Ravens cooked them.
They went 3 straight years winning 12 games and didn't
not
win
just
the division
Dak,
2 of those years.
The whole team being healthy.
Well, right now the only injury concerns are Diggs and Overshown.
Everyone else Parsons went out last year. Ferguson.
Well, Ferguson did get hurt a little bit. He had a nasty. His was a freak. It wasn't like it's a really recurring thing. He actually his leg got pretty messed up.
They showed it. O-line's gonna be brutal.
Well, Guyton's the only one I'm not. I think Guyton is the main reason why that fucking O-line is terrible. Dude, that guy gets beat all the time, it seems like. He's not good. At least it wasn't last year.
He was the first round pick.
Yes. We can't argue with getting Pickens. Yeah. Yes, go get Pickens for sure. But I don't think that's going to just magically make them best in the division.
Get Pickens away from the Steelers.
If anything, he's a locker room cancer.
Well, I guess we will see. We'll see when we make these season predictions too, and literally in a few months where if Allen is still on that conviction of the win division. We'll find out late August, early September where we stand with the Dallas Cowboys officially. But Jake, you're the only one with the under, so we will see. And that is the Dallas Cowboys. On to the Washington Commanders, a surprise team of 2024, went 12-5 with rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels, first-year head coach with the organization, Dan Quinn. They waited the NFC Championship. They beat the Lions. They beat the Bucks. There was underdogs both games in Tampa Bay and in Detroit. Got smoked against the Eagles, the Super Bowl champions. But what an offseason they had. They bring in Tunsil from the Texans. They bring in Samuel from Jake, your team, the Niners. They bring in Kinlaw, Wise from the Patriots. A good little draft. A few picks they had with Josh Connerly Jr. from Oregon and Trey Amos from Ole Miss. So big loss, though, with Jonathan Allen. So, guys, the Washington Commanders, do they regress or do they keep that trend and keep going up and up and up?
Yeah, I have Jane Daniels taking a step back this year. It's kind of like how it had C.J. Stroud last year. I think that sophomore slump's going to hit him pretty good. Now all these teams have a year film on him. I mean, I get he's probably a little bit more shifty player than C.J. Stroud was, but I think he takes a step back. Not nearly as big of a step back as Stroud did last year, but I still have them as a playoff team, just because Jane Daniels still going to play well, but small step back.
I'm not sold on this defense, even though they were a little bit of a up and down defense. Surprisingly, they actually were pretty good. The rush defense was bad. The pass defense was good. And towards the end of the season, they kind of found it. But then obviously, high score game against the Lions, even though they had turnovers. And then against the Eagles, obviously, 55 points. That's just too much. And I don't know about this defense at all. I don't know what Debo is going to provide. I think he's going to be exciting. He's going to be a good little spark plug. But it's just which Debo are we getting? Are we getting the one that needs an oxygen tank to breathe after every play? Or is it going to go back to the Debo that had good cardio and he was actually really good, early in his career?
That was one season where he was not on the sideline dying every 5 seconds.
Too old to be hating, Jake. Too old to be hating.
I'm with you, Mark.
Jake Boyd said that too.
I have watched him struggle a little more than last year, but not because of Jaden Daniels.
No.
I don't trust that defense. I don't think they did enough to make that defense better when that was their issue last year. I think Jaden Daniels balls out. He might have a little bit of a sophomore slump, but nothing like CJ Stroud. But that defense scares me, and I think that's going to hurt him this year.
And another thing, too, Alan, before you go.
Last year, a lot of teams weren't healthy. Like this year, so far, obviously. I mean, it's going to be a whole different ballgame.
Before you go to Alan, real quick, the defense part, I like what Jake said because I understand you have to address the offensive line with Tunzel and, you want to bring another weapon in for him. But, I mean, okay, so what? Trey Amos was your best pick on the defensive side? I mean, It's like, you got rid of all these picks and you didn't really address much on, like, the secondary is the big one. Lattimore's your number one corner, I think. That's not good.
And he hasn't shown up.
Yeah.
Yes, it's voluntary. Yes, we know, but I mean that's just not a good look for someone that's supposed to be leading that defense.
Yeah. I have them taking a step back. I think they're going to finish third in the division. I think the Eagles have enough, to be competitive and finish second. But I think that the defense is the issue here for the Commanders, and Jaden is going to have a slump. I'm with Luke on that. That it's not going to be it's not going to be a major slump. It's not going to be something like CJ Stroud last year, but I do think that they are going to have that slump. And teams have the tape on them. They're going to be able to pick the different spots where they get to him and take him off of his game. And I think that last year was kind of like a little Cinderella story, right? It was nobody saw that shit coming. Nobody except for Mark, because I think
I had competitive losers. So second year in a row though, by the way, I was right where competitive losers they do good. Texas and the Commanders.
I think that they're gonna just take a step back on that, and I see them hitting 9 wins. I'm looking at the schedule. They've got some tough matchups. They've got some easy matchups. I feel like they're gonna lose a couple of those easy matchups. Like not a lot, but I think that they'll lose maybe one or two of those easy matchups that they're not supposed to lose because it's a different. No. First of all, again, the Cowboys dominate the division. They dominate teams. When Dak is healthy, he dominates the division. So I don't think that those are games where they're supposed to win and they're going to lose. I'm talking about like games against they've got the Seahawks on here.
You say Atlanta.
Bears. Atlanta's on here. Like those are games that maybe the Commanders probably should win. They're going to be favored in those games, and I think that they're going to lose a couple of those games. Again, not a lot of them.
I don't think it's wrong to say that neither, Alan. I really don't.
Every team's going to lose to somebody they shouldn't.
Yeah, but
it's the NFL.
But they
Dak dominated a different NFC East. This is a whole different NFC East.
Okay, but as much as Jaden Daniels, and I love Jaden Daniels, we're talking about guys that win you championships. Well, he fucking got me to the championship, so I love Jaden Daniels. And I said he was gonna. And I said he was the best quarterback. Again. No, I said he was the best quarterback in the class last year. I said he was the number one.
We did, yes.
We all did that. I think Jaden Daniels is a stud, and I don't think he has a sophomore slump. I just don't think he's going to go out there and let his offense score 35 points every game, because I think that's what it's going to come down to. It's not going to come down to Jay Daniels having a slump. It's going to come down to can this offense literally multiply by 2 over this defense, because that's what it's going to take for the Commanders to be another 11 to 13 win team.
Listen,
I need Jay Daniels to ball out.
protected the ball very well last year, and I think
Yeah.
what's going to happen this year. What's going to happen this year is you're going to see him turn the ball over just a little bit more, and those moments are going to be the moments that lose them those games against teams that they're supposed to win those games. Those 2 games that they drop to those other guys, and then they do have tough teams that they're going up against outside of those games that they're supposed to win, and it's just going to come down to it. They're going to be competitive. They're not going to lose. They're not going to lose in blowouts. I don't see any real like blowout here. I really don't see any blowout here. But I do think that they're going to lose some of those games off of, and it's going to be competitive. But I think they dropped 7 games this year.
And they were 12 wins last year. And some of those games, okay, one was a Hail Mary to the Bears. The first game against the Giants had no kicker, and they lost 21-18. They couldn't get 2-point conversions. So, like, there's games in there that they were very fortunate and very grateful that the other team had something crazy happen on their side. And okay, good teams take advantage of it. I understand that. But are they going to get those same breaks this year? Because that's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah, I mean, there's always regression to the mean, and it's going to happen. Sometimes you get those breaks during a year, and sometimes you don't get those breaks. And last year they had a lot of those breaks, and this year I think that they're just not going to have those breaks.
Yeah, it was like the year with Kirk Cousins with the Vikings where they had all those crazy 1-score wins, and the next year they went like 0-4 before Kirk got hurt in 1-score games. Or something like that, like 1-4. So like that whole thing reversed, and maybe the Commanders go through that. I don't think slump though. I'm with Jake. I don't know if he's going to slump. I really.
I hate the slump to begin with. But I mean, he's going to have one bad game, and everyone, all the media, everyone's going to be like, "Oh, sophomore slump." I mean, if he has a terrible season, then yes, But like they're just going to be, it's going to be a 2 interception game. Oh, sophomore slump.
No,
here we go.
I think his yards are going to be pretty similar because I think that the offense is built around him. But I think what's going to happen is you're going to see his touchdowns go down a little bit and his interceptions go up a little bit, and he might fumble the ball a little bit more. So he is a running quarterback, and I think he might have a couple of mistakes there, and not crazy. I'm not talking like he's going to have like 5 fumbles or whatever, but he protected the ball very well last year, and I just think that that's going to come down a little bit. Well, I think those turnovers are going to go up a little bit.
This O-line too, is the O-line still unknown? I know, like I said, Tunsil's there, and they drafted Connerly Jr., and it's just there's some unknown to the team. I mean, and now like we all keep saying, they have film on them.
I trust that O-line over Dallas's.
I mean, it's about the same. It might be the same, honestly, Jake. I mean, Daniels was running for his life a lot more than Dak was last year before he got hurt, and then whoever else played quarterback last year.
Dak can't run for his life as much.
No,
I'd say Dak can still move. He's not Jane Daniels, obviously. No, I mean Jane Daniels is one of those guys that's different with the ball in their hands running. I mean, you got Lamar, Josh, and Jane Daniels probably the 3 top runners with the ball in their hand.
Mahomes sneaky good.
He's sneaky, like he's not like that's not what he's known for. Like he doesn't just.
But somehow he always picks up like he'll run 13-yard runs like first downs. I'm like, what the fuck?
Or run a 30-yard touchdown against the Tennessee Titans in the AFC Championship. Yeah. But no, over under for the Commanders in Vegas, they've come down. I mean, up from last year, but down from the record 9.5. And I think that right there that's a tough 9.5. I mean, very tough to bet.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not betting that. I would stay away from it. But I do think that they go under. I have them at 9 wins. I think that it's going to be tough to predict whether or not that 9.5 that 9.5 number is really spot on. I mean, they could go 9, they could go 10 wins. I think that's probably where they're going to be around.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the 10 wins, so the over. Just because I think Jane Daniels is good. I think the team's gonna take a small step back, but not a major step back. And I think 2 losses more than last year is about fair. I think they get second in the division, and they'll be in a wild card slot.
Yeah, I'm at the over, but just barely. I'm at that 10. That number is literally spot on. around exactly where I have it. I'm going to go with the over because I do have 3 bye weeks, 2 Dallas games, and then a normal bye week. So I'm going to go the over.
I think they split Dallas this year. I think Dallas splits with the Commanders. It's just those games go either way. They could beat the Eagles. You never know. I mean, they've done it before. Last year, obviously not, but they've done it before when they were terrible. The Commanders
Not when
were.
it mattered.
No, yeah, well, they went 0-3 against the Eagles last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Not a good look. Not a good look. And speaking of looks, we'll see how good they look this year. I think it's an exciting team, though. It still is.
Oh, yeah, I want to see them for sure.
Moving on to the Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, 13-4 last year. 14-3. I fucked this up. 14-3 last year. And won the Super Bowl, obviously, against the Kansas City Chiefs, 40-22. A lot of acquisitions and a lot of losses, which we have talked about. They added Kenyon Green. Don't know if he's going to play or not, if he's going to start. Azia Algier, I like the move. I like the Joshua Uche pickup. John Campbell was a good draft pick at 31. McBuka, depth safety behind the exciting Whites and Dory Jackson as well. But you lose a lot, guys. Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, Darius Slay, Brandon Graham retired. Becton was a big piece in that offensive line. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Devontae Max. Guys, the Philadelphia Eagles, the question is, Super Bowl hangover, or are they still going to be the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yeah, I'm just going to start right off the bat. It's going to be a Super Bowl hangover. We've seen over the last, I don't know, I would say probably like the last 5 years with the Eagles that they've been all in every single year. But, you know, they make these, they go out and they get guys. Last year they made the splash. They went out and got Saquon Barkley. That changed the complexion of the team. It was a great pickup. But what we just saw this offseason, they're like, we won a Super Bowl. We're not signing all you guys back. We're gonna go young. We're gonna bet on our young guys. We're gonna bet on what we got coming in. And I just, it's too much talent. They had a lot of veteran players on that defensive side that they let go. I just don't see them being able to compete on the defensive side as well as they did last year. Last year was a great year for them, 14-3. And they won that Super Bowl 40-22. It wasn't that close. We all need to. It needs to be stated that it was not that close. But that was last year, and they bet on last year, and this year I think that they're coming back. It's a
tough schedule. It's
tough schedule. Yeah, like you said, tough schedule. They let a lot of that defense go. They're not going to be as competitive on the defensive side. They're going to have to lean on that offense more. And the last little piece that kind of solidified my feeling on the Eagles this year was Saquon Barkley got put on the Madden cover. Listen, the curse, whatever, but he's on that cover, and I think that's going to be an issue. No running back after running 2,000 yards has had the same type of production the following season. Even if he takes a step back, I think that's going to be enough to cause issues. We already saw issues last year with AJ Brown and all kind. I don't know if you guys believe whether or not that was blown out of proportion or what, but the last couple of years, it's been A.J. Brown. Is there a rift with Jalen Hurts and all this, that, and the other? I think that you're going to see some more of that come out. And I just got the Eagles taking a step back.
And Jake and Luke, new offensive coordinator too. Kellen Moore is no longer calling plays there. So this is another offensive coordinator for Jalen Hurts in this offense.
Yeah, I'm right with Alan on this.
That's dangerous.
I know. I was trying to talk myself out of it while he was talking, but I couldn't do it. They just got. I mean, I understand you got to pay your big guys. I mean, you're paying Hurts, Barkley, AJ, but they let a lot of players go, and they're betting on going young. And I mean, that defense was their backbone. I mean, everyone knew that defense was flying. I mean, Carter's still a stud, but when you put the ball in Jalen Hurts' hands to beat you, I don't trust as much as I did that defense. I think they're going to definitely take a step back. And like Alan was saying, I do 100% believe the A.J. Brown riff. There's issues in that locker room. They can blow it off. It doesn't keep coming up for it just to be a little rumor. Like this came up numerous times.
It's not a big deal because they. I'm not saying it's not a big deal to us, but it's not a big deal to people in that locker room because they won the Super Bowl, and that's
Exactly.
what it is.
I mean, if they didn't, AJ Brown probably would have been demanding a trade this offseason.
That exactly right there.
But they won, so yes. But once they lose a few games in this new season, that Super Bowl's gone. I mean, then it can come right back, and you got some more issues. But yeah, I'm not banking on them to be back-to-back Super Bowl champs or anything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you guys. Like, I really don't know how to feel about the Eagles this year. I mean, this first 5 weeks of the season is brutal for them. I wouldn't be surprised if they win two out of the first 5.
I think I had them at 1-3. If I'm not mistaken, I think I had them at 1-3 when I was kind of playing around, and then I had them get to like 11 wins still.
Yeah, so I mean, the start of the season is very brutal, and you know, Phil definitely starts losing how these fans get over there.
They're loud.
Yeah,
they
start calling for heads.
Receiver. Yep.
Yeah, so I don't know. I can see it spiraling really quick, and if they don't get it back on track by like week 7 or 8, the season could be long gone for them. I still have the Eagles winning the division, but just barely. I have them as like maybe an 11-win team. But yeah. I think this division's super close. I think the competition level is a lot closer than it has been the last couple of years, just because Jane Daniels is now on the Commanders and Dak should be healthy next season. So we'll see how it goes. But I think Philadelphia's got the better roster out of the division. I think they better. I don't want to say better coached, but yeah, I like the Eagles just slightly to win the division.
Listen, this is an early Super Bowl rematch. I can't remember, going back over the last couple of years, a Super Bowl rematch happening in week 2. Usually they say that for like week 8, week 9.
How early? How recent are you want to ask? Because I have a couple that were pretty recent. In the last 15 years.
I said last couple of years. So maybe
Panthers Broncos was week 1.
Yeah,
I think Seahawks Broncos was week 2.
Like the last 3 years.
Okay,
I'm thinking like last 3 years. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, because even when the Eagles beat Chiefs beat the Eagles the first time, that was like middle of the season. Because remember, Nick Sirianni was like, "Oh, how do you like that? How do you like that?" And the Chiefs won the Super Bowl the same season. So
yeah, I think with the Chiefs, that whole situation, I do think that if you're talking about betting, I think that's a lock.
It's in Kansas City too.
It's in Kansas City, yeah. I think it's a lock in the Kansas City Chiefs on that game. I don't know. I think Eagles can lose the first game against the Cowboys. I mean, maybe they split. It's at home, but I do think that the Cowboys split at least with the Eagles this year.
Yeah, I see a split, but not in Philly on ring night, Banner night.
Out of those first 5 games,
who's the first 5 games?
It's tough. I mean, it's Rams, so it's Cowboys, Chiefs, Rams, Buccaneers, and then Broncos, and they're at Buccaneers and at Chiefs.
Yeah, I think I had one in. Well, I think I had 2 and 3. I think that's what I was doing. But I had them at 11 wins, which is the over under is 11.5. So I'm just slightly over the under, but I can still see 12 wins. 12 wouldn't shock me from this team.
I'm at 11. I'm at 11 too. I'm right there at 11.
Yeah, but it's one of those where I'm not confident with the 11. That's the thing is it's not a confident 11 because it's the Eagles.
They probably push themselves into a win here somewhere in there.
The Ravens didn't.
I would also. I mean, totally irrelevant, but I'm probably taking Barkley number 1 overall in one of my fantasy leagues. So Eagles are probably done for. So if you want to bet the Eagles, they're probably done. He's got the Madden curse and the Jake curse. Like he is done.
Listen, I gained a lot of respect for Jalen Hurts last year. Like the whole story, everything.
Must have won you a championship.
No, he actually didn't. He didn't win me a championship. I don't draft him. I stay away from him. I don't think that he's a good quarter. I never thought that he was a good quarterback.
He's not elite. No.
But his story and the underdog, he's been set aside multiple times in his career, and he overcame it and won at the highest echelon, highest level. I mean, that was amazing, man.
He got beat out multiple times in his career. I don't know about
okay.
Over.
Well, and I said
he got set aside. He got set aside, meaning that he got beat out by somebody else. He got set aside in a championship game. He's been multiple times pushed to the side for somebody else. And
he was also the best player in both Super Bowls too. He was in. I don't care what anyone says. He was the best player in the first Super Bowl.
I don't think he was the best player in the first.
Defense carried him.
But
Did you? Oh, not okay. The first one, he was the best player. This second one, you can make an argument on anyone on the defense and him. That's fine. The first one, you go look up everything
on the Eagles, or the best player on the field.
The best player that game. I'm not saying like okay, he's not better than Patrick Mahomes, but that day he was better than Patrick Mahomes. He was better than anyone on the Eagles.
I think that the first game it was close. It was close to say between the two of them. I think
Mahomes had like 180 yards, 200 yards.
The first time, I don't think it was. I thought it was a shootout. Pretty sure it was a shootout.
By the way, they scored 38. The Chiefs did 7 of that was because of Hurts accidentally dropped the ball. And besides that, he fucking killed it. I mean, he was literally unstoppable.
No, I know he had a crazy game, but I also thought that Mahomes made the big plays in the big moments and definitely was a very good player in that game, like he always is. But outside of this last Super Bowl,
past one.
Outside of this last Super Bowl,
and the Super Bowl against Tampa,
Mahomes was 21 of 27 for 182 yards. Now he did have 3 touchdowns, but like. So a lot of it was short stuff, though. It wasn't like he was the one going down the field and like making these crazy passes.
He only threw it 27 times, but 21 for 27.
And Jalen Hurts was 27 of 38.
Is a good game.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts was 27 of 38, 304 and a touchdown, 15 carries for 70 yards and 3 touchdowns. The dude had 4 touchdowns. And that was 400 yards accounted for. I mean,
I didn't say Hurts wasn't the better player, but I'm saying Mahomes wasn't a bad.
And I say Mahomes the best in the league, but I mean, like not that day. He wasn't.
Either way. Back to my point. My main point here is that I've never really been a Hurts guy. He won a lot of respect for me last year. I'm actually like turning on him. I think I like to root for him now. Like the whole situation, everything that he's got. I like to root for him now.
He's got 2 teams in the NFC East now.
Oh man,
not 2 teams.
He's got Dak and Jalen Hurts right here.
But what I would say is this: they're going to have to lean on him more this year. And the more you put the ball in his hands, and I agree completely with Jake on this, the more you have to lean on Jalen Hurts, the more you're going to see his flaws. And his flaws are going to come out, and they're going to lose games because of it. That's all. That's my entire point. I wanted to build up, say, hey, I'm actually a Jalen Hurts guy. I'm up here now. However, I think that you're going to see some of his flaws this year because they're going to have to lean on him more.
Because that defense is going to be like it was last year, so Hurts is going to have to do more, and we'll see the actual Hurts. Yes, I agree 100%.
Don't count the exciting whites out, right, Luke? Tell him.
Yeah, the exciting whites. They're back there. They're prime for a good season.
And Zach Bond. He got paid.
Did you see the interview where one of the exciting whites was like, "Yeah, I got cooked by Adam Thielen. He's like 38 years old. He cooked."
They got a podcast together called the Exciting Mics.
Adam Thielen has his moments. It's not the same Adam Thielen, but he has his moments where he has a couple good games here and there throughout the season. But guys, I mean, NFC East is always fun, and I still think it might not be the best division of football, but it's always one of the most entertaining divisions in the NFL. It always is. I mean, it used to be the NFC East. Now you have Allen saying that you can see 3 different teams making the playoffs potentially. The Cowboys win the division. So it's just.
Did we do the over-unders on the Eagles?
Well, we all said over 11 or under 11.
I got them under.
Because I said not a confident 11, but no, I mean, yeah. So next week though, Luke, you gotta be in here, Luke. It's AFC North time. It's arguably, I wouldn't say the best division in football at the moment. I still think they're top 2 or 3. I'd say top 2 or 3. But
we got 3 bad teams.
You guys haven't seen the Shedeur Sanders reports?
He's so exciting. Yeah, he's throwing a fucking underwear Olympics over there.
Well, don't worry. The Browns will be the first team we talk about, unfortunately, in that division. So we'll have plenty of time to talk about Shedeur Sanders. But AFC North next week, Luke, this is your division. This is what you're born to talk about is the Ravens, the Steelers, and the 2 Ohio teams, the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah. Sucks to be fans of those teams except the Ravens.
And guys, hopefully you guys have a great weekend too. I really appreciate y'all doing this. Hey, we also had our dynasty draft this past weekend. That was fun as well. Alan, I know you're not in there, but you're in the redraft league. And with that being said, please make your selection so we know.
You told me I got until 12. You said I got until 12 tomorrow. Man.
I know that, but I've been getting harassed by a few people in the league.
Hey, listen, I did a couple.
Two of them are here right now. And,
it doesn't take 24 hours to make a pick.
I did a couple mock drafts, and I'm kind of good about where I'm at. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but let's get that
overall.
go. Let's get that going, and let's get this AFC North episode next week going pretty good. Like I said, we're getting better and better. The NFC or the AFC East a little shaky because Patriots and Bills are pretty exciting. The other two not, and then NFC East, everyone's excited just because it's the NFC East. But Alan, Luke, Jake, great episode. I'm Mark Davis. This is All About the Balls podcast. Have a great time listening to this, and stay tuned for the next episodes. We are out. Thank you for checking out another episode of All About the Balls podcast. We want to thank all of our listeners and supporters of the Sack House. You can listen to the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe and give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at the Sack House.